Hi everybody, I'm Rutskarn.
I'm Chris.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Shamus.
And we're in our boss's office. We'll see if he's got anything to steal.
Yeah, it's about to get like, I don't know, about
He's
half
got a
as
bunch of
dark.
stuff to steal, but I can't pick it up. I wish this was Half-Life 2 so I could just like pick up a book and then like throw it around and knock over chairs. Oh, this is
I like
cool.
that he
I
has
want
a
this.
fireplace.
Oh, he has a fire. Oh, let's take that. Here, okay, Shamus,
Okay, this
you help me lift and...
This isn't
I always
Deus Ex 1, where you would just hit your strength dog and then steal your boss's shit. This is the future. You can't do that anymore.
Damn it, but this is the
And
past!
this
It's
isn't
the past,
Deus
the
Ex,
past of the future!
and this isn't Deus Ex 2 where an NPC could stray too close to the fire,
Boss, we need to
catch
talk.
on fire, and then
Something
run
wrong?
around
I'm not sure.
like a crazy
Did you
person.
set up a private access route to bypass the company firewall right before you hired me?
And
Okay,
here we
what?
go.
Pritchard
One of
said someone's been
this
using it to access our system since
is
before
one of my
the
favorite
first attack.
bits of the game.
The security measures
This
he and I set in
particular
place never stopped
conversation.
them because
It
we
made
didn't
me
know the
like
loophole
David
existed.
Seraph, and it kind of showed me. I was so worried he was going to be this
see.
really thin,
Frank's
transparent
fixed that,
kind of
though,
bad guy.
right?
And
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
scene gives him some depth,
But
and
he's
you realize,
wondering
okay,
why you never
even
mentioned
if
it.
he is a bad guy,
Frank's
he's not
paranoid
just a
now.
mustache-twirling
You know
betrayer.
that.
He's a guy that
A busy
has
man
an
forget things
agenda.
once in a while.
You streamed
Yeah,
it
Yeah,
live
the game
right
did
after
a
the
really
show.
good job
Right
at
before you brought me
making
on
him
board.
seem
Pritchard may
like
be
a
paranoid, but I gotta admit, I'm
benevolent
wondering what was in it too.
capitalist
Yeah,
that's
as
been
an
really
ex-cop, I
successful,
guess you
is
would.
not necessarily
But the
interested in
important
just
thing
screwing
is you
everyone
found the
over
hole and
for
plugged it.
himself.
We're secure now.
And it really helps.
You know,
when
he's
playing
not
the baseball
necessarily
bat.
a really good person, but
So let's just
he's
stay
also
focused on what's
doesn't like he
important.
hasn't just abandoned the idea of morality altogether.
Right. And part of this is that, like, when he's arguing with you, he is trying to argue back. Or, you know, not very well. He's changing the subject a lot. You know, he's trying to shift around the blame. You know, he's not putting up a great defense, but he's clearly trying to justify.
So yeah, like
I
Rutskarn
want you to
said,
believe me. I wanna
Seraph
catch these guys as badly
does
as you do.
a lot
But that
of
bridge is responsible for every
redirecting the
security crisis
conversation
we've
so that he doesn't
including
have
today's.
to
If you want me to stop these
to
guys,
face
I
your
need to know
initial
what kind of data they've
arguments.
had
So
access to.
refocus is typically the one that you want to use here.
You're right. You're right.
I will say
And-
this is
Sorry
the part.
if I seem
Oh, go ahead.
evasive.
I get the feeling that, like,
Expect me to tell
you know how the
details
Wayne
of
Haas
these
conversation
operations
switched
every single
around
day? We're at war
a
here,
lot
and it's your job to protect us.
whenever we tried to do it
This
again.
one's making us
I think that, like, the
found that
ones with, like,
loophole
William
without my
Taggart
having to
and
tell you
Seraph
about
are constant. Because I did the William Taggart one, like,
Frank
5
wanted me to
times
hire
just to
experts, and
to
outside
explore it.
security firms
And
to
it was
protect
there was
us, but
always
you
a
convinced
most
me you could
optimal
do
option,
it.
and it was
You're
always
saying you were wrong?
the same one.
When I did this the first time, I didn't have the Casey Ogg, and I just used my intuition to try and do this conversation, and I nailed
Yeah.
it. And then when I was trying to play this game here, it kind of distracted me. Instead of choosing my responses based on what felt right, I was just trying to play the game and make the bar move up, and I actually did worse.
I think I'm gonna go with defend
I think
here.
I proved myself today. And the only reason I'm worried about that loophole right now is because the data you streamed through it could have been accessed, backtraced, and stolen by the men who attacked us. Our enemies
Does anyone
will
else
still
love it
find a
when
way to hurt us
anyone
with it.
in any
What?
kind of
Well, I never
like
considered
movie
that.
or popular culture
Sorry,
thing
son.
uses the term backtrace, and like
Guess you have proved
nobody
yourself
in the computer industry
Just wondered
uses
if you were a
that
bit
at all.
paranoid.
Yes.
Like, what does that
Yes.
even mean?
Details that aren't critical? I mean, are you so
They're
sure?
They're gonna
But it's
backtrace all our IPs.
To make a difference
Well,
there.
it is something that
You
the
can't go
audience
with
can
punches
get. It's like,
anymore?
whatever it is, it's
Damn
like
it, Adam.
tracing it back. They
I
can
brought you
immediately
back
get it
in
even
today
though it's not a
because you
term
have
that
an
we
immediate
use.
crisis
Yeah,
to
just from an
deal with.
English perspective, why is
Questioning
the
me about
back
things that
modifier
don't matter isn't
required?
gonna bring Megan
Isn't it just
back.
tracing? That seems like tracing is entirely adequate in this situation.
You do a trace route. That would be a nice piece of jargon you could throw at somebody
Megan?
that's a real thing.
Boss, what does Megan have to do with any of this? I thought we were discussing a security breach.
So now he brought
We were.
Megan into the
She
conversation.
doesn't.
Hmm.
I mean, Adam, you're missing the point. If I'm reluctant
I'm
to
not a
share the
conspirator.
data with you, it's because there's legal issues involved. Every company
I don't know what
I'm not
the
an alien.
Illuminati is.
and Megan's
What are you
research
talking
is
about?
a big part of ours. But the data
It's actually also kind of interesting in retrospect to compare this to LA Noir's gameplay a little bit, because both of them are based around trying to get at nuggets of information and trying to produce cooperation in someone who may be less than cooperative, and it's about like reading the other person and determining like what the best approach is. But the thing is, in this game, it actually does a really good job of making it feel organic. You know, you can actually, like Shamus said, even if you don't have the AUG, you can understand how they're operating. Like, you can watch what their tactics are, and you can come up with like a way to appeal to them. In fact, more often than not, I would just completely ignore the AUG, and I would go with, you know, my gut, and that would work out. Whereas games like LA Noir make it more about like what specifically did they intend for you to do in this situation, which is pretty classic Rockstar gameplay.
Makes me think that it's you who isn't trusting me.
Go ahead.
Why, boss?
Well, I was just going to say it speaks
What is
more
it
to the
you're so
game's
afraid to
writing
tell
and the
me?
ability to actually really convey what the characters' motivations are through
course
what they're
I trust
saying,
you,
whereas
son.
their animations don't matter so
not that
much.
I'm
It's
afraid
the
to tell you
lines
the
and how they're
truth.
delivered.
It's just that,
Right.
honestly,
I like that the conversation
I'm
makes
afraid you
sense.
take it
Like
the
the LA
wrong
Noir
way.
has the problem where if you pick
All right.
not what the game wants you to do,
look.
Cole just says
Truth
something that
is,
completely makes no
I
damn
set up a
sense,
confidential
and the whole
data
conversation
channel for a
falls
private
apart.
investigator,
In
someone who can
this
run
game,
covert background
all the
checks on
and in
people,
BioWare,
potential new recruits.
all options collapse. So,
You
okay,
what?
you say A or B,
I
you
had
get a
to,
canned
Adam.
response, and then you go right
You
back
were a
on track.
liability, remember?
In this
been
conversation, it
fired from
really
SWAT.
does
Now, Megan
move around,
believed
and no
in
matter
me, but
what
I had to be
path
sure.
you choose,
Look,
it fits
I don't
and
want this to come between
and it makes
us.
sense
I'll
for
send
what
the
you chose.
files
It
to your
matters,
computer. You
Yeah.
can see
and it
for yourself
branches.
what he dug up.
Oh, but
Adam,
I'd say that the contrast
better be
between
sure.
Why?
Mass
What do
Effect
you mean?
and
I mean, sometimes the past should stay in the
this
past.
game's dialogue conversations
see
and
that
writing
data?
is that in Mass Effect,
You can't
what
unring the
you
bell.
say doesn't really
When you're
matter
ready,
that
come back
much.
and
It's all
talk
about
to
the
me.
exposition that the other guys
We
are
can
saying. But
discuss our
in this
next
one,
move.
it's everything that you say seems to make sense with the way the game is progressing and the way that the conversation is progressing. Like, even if it's not the right one, like it seems like a line of conversation, no matter which one you pick, that would be sensible to say in this situation.
Yeah. They also stay away
What do I
from
need to
the
pick up?
prompt
Here, this
for
is
more
you.
exposition,
Corporate
which
passport
BioWare does a
encoded with your
lot.
biometrics.
Yeah.
Set up a
They've
photo
got
actually
of
makes
the
me
ground
feel
to
like-
get you to
exposition.
Henshaw Island without any
And
problems.
It makes me feel
Shepard
like
just
China. What
Go.
about FEMA?
FEMA's got
sorry,
nothing to do with this
but
job. Well, it's
actually
better
no.
luck in
Finish
China.
the example
can you
because I think
say
that'll
that?
be instructive.
I saw the
Well,
bastard
I mean,
Megan
like,
pulling his men out of that facility.
you walk in and
I left one of those men
the
dead in
alien will
its
begin to
underground
tell you
storage
what's
bin.
up, and then
I
you'll be
know
given a
that, Al.
choice,
Frank was
and
monitoring the whole thing.
Shepard will get
So
to
I also
choose
know that
get
before
the
he died,
choice
that man
between
gave me
saying,
an address
"What do you
in
think is
China.
going on?" and "Is there anything
Why
else
don't
I
you
need to
check it
know?"
out?
Which
That
is
doesn't make
basically
any sense.
give me the
Look,
next
Adam,
section of
There's a reason this
exposition.
country's under
It's just
attack.
a pause in the
Think it has to
exposition so
do
you
with
can
the
feel
Typhoon or
involved.
with some other
But it doesn't
top
actually
secret
matter which one
military
you
project
pick
that I haven't
because
told you about.
you are on this
that
exposition
crossed my mind.
train and there's no
Yeah,
getting
well,
off
it
of it.
doesn't. The work Megan's team was doing before they were killed, it
And
was
this game doesn't have
redefining
that
what
at
it
all.
means to be
And in fact,
human.
most
This
of the
company,
things that Jensen says
Sarah
are
Phoenix,
actually
was about
as
to lead
interesting as
mankind
what the
to its
character,
next stage
the
in
person
human
you're talking to,
development.
has to say. Like,
Self-controlled
Jensen isn't
evolution.
just saying yes or
Can't you
no
see
or
how
I
scary
agree or
that
tell
can
me
be to
more.
some people?
He's
Sure.
articulating
I also see
viewpoints.
how lucrative it can be for some
And
others.
that's another
It's
big
never been
difference.
about money for me,
Yeah, it's
Adam.
really rare in
Everything
Mass
Seraph
Effect.
is saying
You're right.
right now
There are people out there
is
who do
really,
exactly
really
feel the
important
same.
for this
Like who?
game,
I'm hoping you'll be
both
able to
for
find that
its
answer for us in China.
flaws and
Get
for
going.
its good
Freud
parts
is
as
prepping
well.
the chopper.
I wanted to point that out. The everything about what they were doing when Megan's team was attacked. About self-controlled evolution, but you should definitely keep that in mind as we progress through this game because it's gonna come up a lot. And I personally don't think that after this section it was handled very well.
I would actually kind of agree. I think that's something to talk about more as the game progresses.
Okay, so Here's the confidential
Your full
emails
inventory.
that I can't take that wine. I can't fit it in my backpack. Here's the confidential emails that Seraph got from the private investigator guy. And it basically the big reveal here is that Adam Jensen was adopted.
Oh,
Nobody
what a
loves you.
surprise. Nobody saw it coming, that the protagonist of a Deus Ex game, his birth might not be 100% kosher.
Nobody loved you. You were an unwanted baby. That's the big
That
reveal.
his dad worked for a White Helix Labs. His mother was on antidepressants, and that he just kind of came out of nowhere as far as the history goes. There's not really any real record of his birth. And also that his psych evaluation for the SWAT team is probably bullshit.
White Helix Labs, a subsidiary of VersaLife Company.
Athena tells me you spoke to Seraph. Did he happen to tell you why he made us?
Yeah, I think the thing is, they tried to make this a big twist later on in the game, that, you know, there might be something wrong with Jensen's birth. But if you get that, and you find out that his dad works for a lab, and that his parents aren't his real parents, I don't know, maybe it's just because I played the first game, but that kind of blew it for me.
Yeah, it's like the guy who shot himself in the head while saying, "Help me." The game treats it like it's this big reveal, and you're like, wait, this is a reveal? I mean, I've known this for hours. Why are you acting like you're revealing something now?
Yeah, I was definitely unimpressed with that being the big thing that Seraph was keeping from Adam. I mean, for Adam as a character, obviously it's a big deal if suddenly, like, oh, he's adopted and he didn't even realize it. But, like, this is like, you know, 5 or 6 hours into the game. I don't know Adam Jensen that well.
Well, that's
I mean,
the thing.
yeah,
Sure,
it's a big development for his character, but it didn't
But the
really
thing is, he
impact me as a
completely
player
drops
at all.
it.
I never, you know, you don't see Adam's parents ever. You know, if it had started out with like flashbacks to, she's still knocked out.
Well, more than that, you don't see Adam's...
If it had started out with like a Fallout 3 style vault sequence, or like flashbacks even just to Adam's childhood, then that would have made that thread more important.
How may I be of service?
I think to the player.
You don't even really see Adam's response itself either. I mean, you sort of do a little bit in that old lady segment that comes later on, but aside from that, Adam's like, huh, I was adopted. Okay. I mean, we just read that email that totally tells me.
I'm not sure I agree with Josh. I'm not sure I even really need to see like his flashbacks to his family and stuff. But I think, because I think I get the gist of this being like, you know, you're adopted being a big thing. But, you know, Chris is right. That's the problem. It doesn't affect his character at all. And I can see why, because I think this is kind of an optional reveal. Like, you have to work for it a little bit. So I'm thinking it really shouldn't have been. If they're going to make it part of the game this early, they should really have committed, made it like a mandatory thing that would come out somehow or another. Like, maybe if you don't get it out manually, maybe Pritchard finds it and emails it to you, or something like that. And then, you know, he reflects on this a little bit at least.
Oh yeah, maybe when you get to Hangshaw, Pritchard would say, "Oh, here's something I found out," and he sends you the same information. And that way,
or maybe
it's revealed later.
You're about to find the hacker stuff. That would be a good time to find this out.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
To be fair, the Seraph conversation isn't really very hard, even with the Casey Og, or even without the Casey Og. I mean, it's pretty clear how to. I felt like that was one of the most straightforward boss conversations, and it didn't seem like very many options would immediately throw Seraph on the complete defensive and make him clam up. Let's turn in all the quest rewards.
Did you get everything? We have to get that son of a bitch, Jensen.
Like how you're just still hanging out here.
Everything.
Excellent, Jensen. I knew it.
Yeah, hasn't it been a couple
My
days
guys got
by
their
now?
hands on Double T, and
Don't you have
identified
something
the
else
shipment.
to do?
Apparently you weren't so subtle with the last
In Deus
part,
Ex,
but
it is
hey,
always
at least the job is
nighttime.
done. What else you got?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the nighttime is the right time. Punch
Well,
dudes
same thing
in
with
the
Max.
face.
Nobody
Same
cares
thing with
about
crossbow.
Max Payne.
You bet, big boy. I've got a feeling
Imagine
O'Malley's
Max
guy
Payne
will
having
become
an
a
adventure
lot
during
more
a bright
receptive
sunny
to
day.
interrogation Once he knows I can pin this murder on him.
Like on the beat.
Left 4 Dead 2
Isn't
did
that
do
about to
zombies
happen?
in the middle of the day.
There was a
You
second
shut up,
shipment of
Chris.
weapons,
You
government
shut
issue.
up.
I don't know how he got his hands on that type of hardware, but the man's got reach.
Great work. Found something else?
I found a
So,
stash of illegal drugs.
I assume they're going to make a
Not much,
sequel after the
but
success
enough
of
to
Human
get rid of it.
Revolution. What color tone do you think they're going to go with? Because we've already done kind of a blue-gray, a purple, and now yellow.
Got anything else?
I managed to hack
I think
his
green
personal
is the
account.
next one.
Oh,
Maybe
not
that makes
green.
Yeah,
the
there you
connection
go.
O'Malley has with FEMA.
Matrix.
I mean, I can't think of
Definitely something
I can't
going
think
on
of
there.
any game
No,
that's ever had a
not-
pervasive green
Not
motif
the
ever.
Matrix, not Blade Runner,
Well,
please no.
Okay, see, what you
What's
do
next?
is you don't make
You
it
gonna tell me
green
you
like,
found
oh,
proof
we
of
took a
stuff
regular
on TV?
thing and then we
No,
sort
that
of put it
about
through
covers
this awful, grainy, like, gangrene
O'Malley's plan was to
filter.
start a
What you
controlled
do
trade war
is you
between
make
the
it
derelict road
so that
ballers
the
and
greens
the
are
motorcycle
bright
bangers.
greens that have sort of a lighting
Might wanna
effect.
check into that.
Like the yellow in this game, basically, except, you know, maybe with a
Alright,
little
I'll
more
keep that in mind when I
strong
review all the
contrast.
Well, that's it. You did
More
a great
seriously,
job. Here's the stuff
I would
you.
like for them to
You've got
move
more than
away
enough to
from the
nail him down, and I
pervasive
wanna make a
color
move before that son of a
Yeah,
bitch
can we
over
go
the
with-
whole game.
But I ain't
Can
got
we
no
go with
backup,
Mirror's
and
Edge
I thought
instead?
we'd go down
A
peacefully.
Mirror's
I was about to
Edge
say,
style
why
You've
color
already done the
scheme.
bulk of the job.
Or
You wanna put the finishing
each
touches
city
on yourself?
having kind of its own like you know, the HUD of whatever character you're playing as might be one
It'll be my
particular
pleasure.
color.
Perfect.
It's some
My
sort of
contact tells me
artistic
O'Malley's gone
decision.
back to his
But
apartment.
each city
Go
should
get him.
definitely feel
I'll be
a
waiting
little
for you in
more
the alley near the
different
building
than
once you've taken
all
care of that
ones.
scumbag.
Will you still be wearing that?
I'm thinking whatever
Or
it is,
do
it should be
Do
a
you
cool
intend
color.
to just like put on a police cap and say, "Stop, police"?
I think the accepted thing is everybody expects you to be wearing a trench coat and have sunglasses.
No,
I was
he's
talking about Jenny.
the cobbler.
I guess she could just put a trench coat on.
Wears her hooker uniform, puts on a trench coat and a cap, you know, just comes out with a gun. Stop! You have the right to remain aroused.
Only you would think that is a good idea, Rutskarn.
I didn't say it was a good idea. I'm just saying it's a possibility that someone, and I'm not saying who, could capitalize on and do fan art of, which could theoretically be sent to any of our email accounts, such as mine. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that is a very subtle message, Rutskarn.
Don't take me out of context, Josh. That's all I'm asking.
Also, in the next, if they do another Deus Ex game, I'm not even sure that they will. I know that they had a lot of trouble doing this game, and it was very expensive. I don't know that it was a financial success, even
Well,
though
I
it's
can't-
obviously an artistic success.
I think it was a financial success.
Probably
Now we'll
pretty
sit
trivial
here,
to access sales
Wait
figures.
for our energy to reload, and we'll just kind of
Are we here to
punch him.
somebody?
Or can we talk to... I don't remember if we can talk to him.
I think you can talk to him, yeah.
Oh, cool. Hey!
Careful who you point that
Stealth, turn invisible, and
There
then
might be
come
some
in behind
very
him.
unpleasant consequences.
Oh yeah, that's right, you can't talk to him with your weapon out.
Mr. Jensen.
You get out in front of the desk, pull your gun out, walk back behind him, put your gun away.
You play a dangerous game, O'Malley.
So going back to the whole Adam is adopted thing, one of the other things that bothered me
What's
about
happening
that
here shouldn't come as a
was
surprise.
the name
It's an
Adam,
inevitable
which
consequence.
totally gives away his
In the
entire
end, it
place in the
seems you
entire
and I
Deus
are
Ex
so
storyline.
different, Mr.
A bit,
Jensen.
yeah.
You two seem to
So are you
consider
saying
yourselves
that,
little on the
that
nose.
the sequel to Deus Ex
Whatever.
Human
I'm
Revolution,
here
if
to
they
arrest
make
you.
one,
I
and it
strongly
doesn't have
suggest you
Adam,
consider a
will
peaceful
have
resolution.
like
I'm
Abraham
afraid I
or
won't
Moses?
be able to comply, Mr. Jensen.
It's sort of related.
But allow me to make you a different
Eve.
offer.
They should. No, wait.
Elijah.
Better yet, Steve.
I'm listening.
I don't resent you.
I swear to
You
God, the
play
next
your
game will be
cards
about
and
Cain
mine
and
as
Abel,
well,
and one of
something
you will
I
be
can
playing
respect.
either Cain or
Still,
Abel, having to kill your
It doesn't
your
mean
augmented
Dude,
other.
defeat.
Can they just like get the rights to
Okay,
have
guys,
like
Something
the Joe
from my
Kukin
free-
Kane from Command and Conquer?
Guys, I think you're seriously overreaching with this whole biblical illusions thing. I mean, think about the first game. What could JC be a reference to from the Bible?
Jim
Oh,
Carrey.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
That kind of okay. That's
So I don't remember what he just asked. So I think he's
So
he's
we have no
offering
idea
to
what
give
we're
us
doing.
money or some
Alright,
shit
let's
to
take
let him
it.
get away. I'm trying to like which one maximizes XP. I'm asking you guys. Of course, none of you did this. Nobody did this.
No, I don't know. Flip a coin, dude.
Let's do it and see what
Alright.
happens.
But don't try to pull anything.
Now, come on, Mr.
I want
Jensen.
to.
When haven't I been the perfect gentleman? The money
Is he gonna
in your
disappear, or
apartment
can I
on your
just shoot
table.
him?
Now,
He looks
The
like
money is in your apartment on your
Somebody be.
table.
That's where I keep my money. In my
Oh, yeah, he just
apartment,
disappeared.
on my table.
He looks like the bad guy from Parts, the Clonosaur.